Hello everyone. Welcome to the second lecture of Human Resource Management from Unit 1. Let us first get to know about what all we are going to cover in this lecture. First, we are doing evolution of human resource management, then we'll be doing functions of human resource management, what is human resource development, nature of HRD, objectives of HRD and processes of HRD. So let's first see to it that how HRM has evolution with the passage of time. The early part of the century saw a concern for improved efficiency through careful design of work. During the middle part of the century, emphasis shifted to employee productivity, and recent decades have focused on increased concern for quality of work life, total quality management, and workers' participation in management. So these three may be termed as welfare, development, and empowerment. Now let us see to this flow chart where how it has been evolution can be seen through if in today's perspective, when we improve the efficiency of the people within the organization, their productivity definitely increases, and which leads to total quality management. So therefore we can say that quality of work life and worker participation leads to welfare, development and empowerment of the employee within the organization. So HRM is an activity which molds human resource into an effective organization, provides opportunity for maximum individual contributions under healthy working conditions, and promotes individual development, encourages mutual confidence and understanding between the employee and the employer, and between the employees and themselves too. HRM aims to maintain good human relations in the organization. It also contributes to improve quality and capability of employee within the organization. Therefore, we can say that HRM often called some other names, for example, manpower management, labor management, labor relation, and industrial relations too. Now let us look into this diagram which best way describes the functions of human resource management. So there are basically two functions, that is managerial functions and operative functions. So let us look into first the managerial functions. The managerial functions are planning, organizing, directing and controlling. So why it is considered to be managerial functions? Because any department which is either the marketing, either the sales division or accounts department, every department is taking care of all these four managerial functions, which is all about planning, organizing, directing and controlling. But here we are more concerned about the human resource management, which is basically planning of human resource, organizing of human resource, directing of human resource and controlling of human resource management. So we are more concerned about the planning, organizing, directing and controlling of human resource management. And the operative functions best described by the procurement, development, compensation, integration and maintenance. So each and every activity in the operative functions are meant for different types of activities which are performed by the human resource department within an organization. So job analysis is one part of procurement function. Human resource planning is another part of procurement function, as well as recruitment, selection, placement, induction, transfer, promotion and separation, which is all belongs to the procurement function of human resource management. Development is performance appraisal is directly related to the developmental functions. Training, executive development, career planning and development, all are developmental functions. So compensation is that we are looking forward in the compensation part, job evaluation, wages and salary administration, bonus, incentives and payrolls. Integration is another operative function where the activities which are lying in the integration functions are motivation, job satisfaction, grievances, redressal, collective bargaining, conflict management, participation of employees and discipline. So Last part of the operative function is maintenance. So maintenance is basically health, safety, social security, welfare scheme, personnel records and personal audits. So therefore we can say that functions of human resource management can be best defined as combining both the managerial functions and the operative functions. So we can define the human resource management also by their functions, which is human resource management is best explained by the planning, organizing, directing and controlling of human resource management for the function of procurement, development, compensation, integration and maintenance of human resource management for the purpose of fulfilling the organizational goals and objectives. Now this diagram also will best explain you about the functions of human resource management. It is subdivided into two parts. First is managerial function, which is planning, organizing. Here we have added staffing, one more part. Why? Because it is a human resource department where we are planning about the human resource management, we are organizing the human resource management, and therefore we are going to staff. Staffing is basically a recruitment function that we are staffing the people into the organization, and then we are directing them, and therefore we are controlling them. And operative functions I have already described, that it is a procurement, development, compensation, maintenance, motivation and integration too. Now let us have a look to this diagram, which best explains the human resource management model. So entire activity is moving around all these functions which are outside the small circle. So these are training and development, organizational job design, human resource planning, selection and staffing, personal research and information system, compensation and benefit, employee assistance and union labor relations. So this is how all those activities which we are going to perform by the Department of Human Resource Management leads to human resource outputs for quality of work life, productivity and readiness for change. So why we are doing all these activities as a department within the organization? Only because we want that the human resource areas outputs are quality of work life, productivity and readiness to change. So we are more focused in, first of all, the primary function is to plan about human resource. Then we are selection and staffing is done. After that, personal research and information system is being done. Then after, compensation and benefits are provided. Employee assistance has been given. Any employee, if we want certain assistance, then it is provided by the department. Then union labor relation also provides and establishes relationship among the employees. Training and development is another part which looks after the developmental part of the employees within the organization. Organizational development is overall organizational development, where each and individual are involved into the developmental part, and therefore the overall organization is developed. So last one is organizational and job design. You have to best way design the job of the organization. So basic output of human resource management is quality of work life, productivity and readiness to change. Now this has been given by American Society of Training and Development, ASTD, have identified 9 human resource areas which I have already shown you in the diagram. So first is training and development, second is organizational development, organization job design, third is human resource planning, selection and staffing, personal research, information system, compensation benefit, employee assistance, union and labor relation. Now these 9 areas have been termed as spokes of the wheel, in that each area's impacts on human resource outputs. So therefore the outputs are quality of work life, productivity and readiness to change. So let us look into what is quality of work life. So to promise of quality of work life is having a work environment where an employee activity become more important, which means implementing procedure and policies that makes less routine and more rewarding for the employees. These procedures and policies include autonomy, recognition, belongingness, progress and development of external reward too. Autonomy deals with the amount of freedom that an employee can exercise in the job. For example, if the employee must get permission to purchase postage stamp, to mail jobs related material, autonomy to set their own working hours, and recognition involves being valued by others in a company, and individuals' contribution to the organization is noticed and appreciated. Belongingness refers to being part of the organization. An individual who belongs to an organization is one who shares the organizational values and is regarded as being a valuable part of the firm. Progress and development refers to internal reward available for the organization challenges and accomplishments. And finally, external rewards, which are in the form of salary, benefits, but also includes promotional rank and status. So taken together, these components provides for a quality of work life for an individual. If the quality of work life is lacking, then the worker's productivity may suffer. So productivity is a quantity or volume of the major product or services that an organization provides. So it is the amount of work that is being produced in an organization in terms of how much and how well. High productivity is what makes an organization thrive towards excellence. And without a good product or service to sell, problems in the organization are sure to arise. Accordingly, productivity improvement progress are becoming more popular. Many components constitute the productivity factors, for which are capital investment, innovation, learning, and motivation. So capital investment includes having the best possible machinery availability that will help to improve the efficiency of the workers. Now, let us see what is readiness of change means. It is the concept behind the capital investment is to provide the latest technologically advanced equipments that will help the workers to work smarter, not harder. Innovation is a process where new and creative ideas are welcomed. Learning looks at training issues. Not only we want to train the employees doing the right things, but we want them to be efficient as well as doing things right. By this diagram, we can see that the HRM activities are encircled within all these activities: core HR activities, task and processes, training and development, performance appraisal, compensation and benefit, leave and attendance, employee self-services, selection and hiring. Now, in brief, HRM functions can be best understood by all these points which are concerned with human element. Best from employee, pervasive at all levels of management, action oriented means record keeping, individual and potential oriented, which means encouraged to develop people oriented means rewards and motivates people. Future oriented means future goals. Development oriented means training to develop the skills of the human resource in the organization. Continuous functions is constant, and performance oriented is increased performance. Auxiliary services are assist and advise line managers, and interdisciplinary is multidimensional and welfare oriented. So, to be continued with, HRM can also be considered as a best practice on having collective bargaining, negotiation, grievance handling, staffing the organization, helping the self-development of the employees at all levels, developing and maintaining motivation by providing incentives, reviewing and auditing manpower management in the organization, potential appraisal, feedback and counseling too, role analysis, job rotation and organizational development and quality of work life. So these can be best understood by these points on HRM functions. Now look into the another slide which says that what is HRD. Now HRD is basically human resource development, is a sort of framework that allows and aids an employee of an organization to develop their organizational personal skills as well as their knowledge and abilities. So there are a lot of practices and opportunities involved in this field. Some of them can be named as performance development, management, training, career development, mentor, coaching, succession planning, tuition assistance, key employee identification, etc. The main goal of human resource development is to create the most superior workforce as possible. So human resource development can be formal or informal. Formal is being tutored in a classroom or an organization effort, while informal may be on the job training by a manager. Now let us see what HRD definition is. HRD is a function of more concerned with the training and development, career planning and development, and organizational development. So HRD is a part of HRM. So it basically has three functions. One leads to the other. That is, training and development leads to career development, career planning, and then career development, and after that it leads to organization, in turn organizational development. So Myers defined HRD as a process of increasing the knowledge, skills and capabilities of all people in the country. So therefore it is said that it is a continuous and planned process. Why HRD is required? So to sharpen the capabilities, which means requires to perform various functions associated with their present and expected future roles, to help the individual to discover their own inner potential for OD, and to develop an organizational culture, relationship, teamwork, collaboration and integration, to fill the gap between the actual and expected performance, and to bring all-round development of the people so that they can contribute to the organization, society and nation. HRD concepts. Now, recent origin of HRM used as a micro and macro level. So, micro level towards improvement of quality and higher level of productivity of the organization. Macro level says towards the improvement of quality of life for the nation. So it is based on the system approach, which includes subsystems like training, performance, appraisal, role analysis, communication, etc. So it also builds around the behavioral science. Nature of HRD. Now look into what are the nature of HRD. So it's a planned system of developing people, competency development oriented, career development oriented, continuous process, open system approach, protecting organization against disaster, and facilitating values and cooperation, developing organizational and national interest. Let us see to this flow chart or diagram. We can say that nature of HRD is moving around all these functions, which is first of all considered as a continuous process. It is a planned system, career development oriented, value development oriented, developing nation's interest, growth oriented, adaptation of the new techniques. So the HRD nature is to become, it is a continuous process, planned system, career development, value development, developing nation's interest, growth oriented, adaptation to new techniques and competency building. So we can best understood by this diagram that what are the natures of HRD. Now let's see the process of HRD, a flow chart which says that first of all we are doing performance appraisal. Performance appraisal would lead to training. Training is through job rotation and job enrichment. So organizational development, after that the training has been given to our people, it leads to organizational development. So once the development of organization is being done only when their employees are developed. So after that this leads to career development, and career is developed, then we give a feedback and counseling to that particular employee, and if they have been performed well, they have been rewarded. So this is the process of HRD. Now let's see through this diagram also, which says first of all we are looking one part, that is called assessment. Second is to design, then we implement, and after that we evaluate. So assessment part, why there is a requirement of assessment? If we are giving any training program to the employees, we have to know that whether this training program has been successful or not. So therefore there is a requirement of assessment needs. So now we are prioritizing our need, which type of assessment is required, and therefore on the basis of that, first of all, if we want to train them, so what training should be given? So define the objectives, then we have to develop a lesson plan according to the type of training, then we have to develop and acquire materials for the training program, then select the trainer, then select the methods and techniques to be adopted to train them, and schedule and program interventions too. So this all combined together leads to deliver of the HRD program or interventions. So which further leads to select evaluation criteria, determine the evaluation design, conduct evaluation program and intervention, and interpret results. So after doing the designing process of the training program, we are able to implement them, and after implementation we are evaluating those training program through assessment criteria. So there are select evaluation criteria, determine evaluation design, evaluate program and intervention, and interpret results. So this result would lead to prioritize your needs, that whether your training program has been done successfully or it has to be again go through. So therefore we can say that it is a ongoing process. Now look into the objectives of human resource development. To provide a comprehensive framework, mental and physical ability and capability for the present and future roles, for the overall development of the people in the organization, to develop a constructive mind and overall personality for every person, to develop the capabilities of each individual in relation to the present and future expected roles. To be continued with the objectives of human resource development, to develop and maintain high level of motivation among the employees, to make employees abreast with latest changing technology, knowledge and skills, to ensure effective utilization of human resource through training and development, to develop healthy relationship between the each employee and his supervisor, and to develop sense of team spirit, teamwork and inter-team collaboration in the organization. To be continued with the objective part of HRD, to develop the overall health and renewing capabilities of the total organization, and to generate systematic information about the human resource for the purpose of manpower planning, placement, succession planning, etc. Still to be continued, to prevent the overstaffing and wastage of HR, to make the employees committed and interested in the work of their career advancement, to increase the motivation level of the employees, to develop innovative strategies for the effective productivity, and to create healthy environment. Now let us see to this diagram. This best explains what actions is required, what is the focus and what are the objectives. So it has having three criteria, that is action, focus and objectives. So what are the actions? We are taking the training as a human resource development department. We are going through training, then we are educating them, then we are developing them. So the three things, training, education and development, leads to learning present and related jobs. So basic focus is about learning the present and related jobs. And after doing all this, it leads to preparing a job. Objective kya hai? What are the basic objectives? So basic objectives are that preparing for a job, general growth of the employee and improved performance. So because of these objectives, we are doing actions. These actions are being done, and then to fulfill the objective, and the basic focus which is lying at the center part is learning of present and related jobs. So this is called mechanism of human resource development system. So this comes to the end of the second slide of human resource management first unit. Thank you. Have a nice